Hi, this is your math teacher, and today we'll be talking about property taxes. My goal is that by the end of the video, you'll be able to help out your family members, like your parents, grandparents, or friends, from overpaying on property taxes. At the end of the video, if you found this helpful, please hit the subscribe button. If you are not aware, there are certain exemptions that you might be already able to qualify for, such as the Homestead exemption, means that you reside there, the age 65 or older or disabled, or if you're a disabled veteran. Property taxes have been increasing for me, and I will tell you what to do to protest them. But first, let's talk about a few things that can cause a hyperbolic tax increase: a property that has been sold in the market, an inheritance, or removing of a homestead. If you are the homestead owner of the house, the appraisal district might slowly be increasing the value of the house because there is a homestead property cap where you live. But when the property is put in the market and the new owner purchases it, it is like now there's a radar for that property, and they will appraise the property approximately the price for what you have paid for. If you have inherited a property because your parents passed and there is a change of the owner, it hits the radar and the property will be appraised at what the comparative market analysis values it. My argument is, why should it be appraised at the price of the market if you don't buy it, if it's an inheritance? In my case, they wanted to increase the property value from $36,000 to $76,000. I protested it and they adjusted it. The other thing that I have experienced is when you remove the homestead, again, it's like it hits the radar and gives them the reason to maximize the appraisal value. If there was a gauge that measures an increase, that glass on that gauge would have shattered. It did a hyperbolic increase from $36,000 to $83,000. I have put up the appraisal from the 2019 and 2020. If you do not know where to find this, you can go to the county appraisal and you should be able to pull up your information. So as you can see, $36,000 to $83,000. I have scheduled a hearing date, but will try to have this adjusted before then informally. I have spoken to several appraisers, and not all the appraisals share the same tone. The first appraiser said that we're going to appraise it to a commercial because the homestead has been removed, and we will assume that you're going to rent it out to the maximum price. I was not going to waste my time arguing with him, and I contacted the appraiser that had helped me out the previous year so that I don't have to protest against the board. It's bad enough that I won't be getting a discount for claiming homestead exemption, but to increase the value more than twice as much is shameful. My thoughts on property taxes is that it is essential for a well-functioning civilization. They provide the largest source of money for local governments, and they use it for schools, streets, roads, police, fire protection, and many other services. In Texas, the state allows the local government to determine the value of the property. There should be caps on how much a property can increase, and if it was not put in the market for sale, it should not be valued at market value. It is the breach of intrinsic value. For example, if I hire a contractor that builds a house for $120,000 that will sell for $200,000 on the market, I should be charged taxes on intrinsic value if I am the owner, regardless if I have a homestead on it or not, or if it operates in a business from it. In this example, if we have a property tax of 2.54% and the intrinsic value is $120,000 multiplied by 2.54, we'll be paying $3,048 a year for property taxes. But if it was put at market value and it got sold for $200,000 multiplied by 2.54, it will be equal to $5,080, a difference of $2,032. Essential questions. What plan can we prepare if we want to protest property tax hikes? Log on to your county appraisal website and look at properties around your neighborhood with similar characteristics. So this is one of the properties close to where I live. And if you notice, it's been pretty steady. Their land value is $18,000. So it dropped in 2019 to 2020 about $7,000. Where you go back to my property, in 2019 it was at $23,000, and for 2020 now it's at $65,000. It is better to protest in person. This year it may be difficult because of COVID-19. Prior to the protest, request that they send you a comparative home they will use so that you may prepare better. Evidence to show are pictures of damages to the house, a comparable house in the area, and if your property wasn't lowered to the price that you have desired, there is hope. You can still do an informal meeting, find out if in your state there is an appraiser cap, ask to speak to an appraiser. Sometimes when you speak to one appraiser, they might be more understanding than a board full of appraisers when you're trying to protest.